2 races left in the Great Lakes Sim Racing regular season for season number 2 of this Downrange Transports Premier Series. And we have seen multiple curveballs and changes happen in the last 7 days of racing here in GLSR. Nothing crazier than the challenge of this 1 mile high bank Rockingham Speedway, aka The Rock, or North Carolina Motor Speedway for those old school fans, if you will. Tonight, the Captain Esports Network welcomes you into The Rock. I am the captain. Glad to be with you for 130 laps of racing here on this 1 mile track. Now, let's rewind 7 days ago. Last Wednesday, I had no voice, but these guys had a race to run. And there was a little bit of drama at the Brickyard for the running of the PRG Gear 200 at the Brickyard. And needless to say, some things had to happen, unfortunately, when it was over with. An incident late in the race saw contact between Matt Telder and Diego Sainz. Telder, along with others, crashed out of the event. And then 2 laps later, under caution, Telder retaliated by plowing into the 44 car. Now, since this event happened, Teller's been dismissed from the league, unfortunately. Diego Sainz, on the other end, had a poor finish and fell out of the top 12 in points. So it was a pretty big deal on both ends. And it was a tough decision that had to be made. And it led to where we are now in the point standing. Stephen Miles became the first repeat winner at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in GLSR history with his win. He, of course, now leads the point standings, becoming the first repeat winner of the season. Also, as we've had 6 different winners, which means we have now an extra wild card spot. Diego Sainz, as you see down there, he is down at the 12th position. I mentioned he was out. My mistake, he's actually 3 points to the good on Sean Peachin, as you see there, with 205 to 202. Tyler Pluff right there with him. Lucas Strayer also right there on the border. Pretty much everybody 15th on down needs a little bit of a miracle, maybe even a win to get into the playoffs here, as I mentioned, with 2 races left in the regular season. Now, the good news here tonight is when you look down at Lucas Gortman, he is there in the 8th position right now. He's got a pretty sizable number on the bubble. Of course, as I look at it right now, 205 from 262, that's 257, or I should say 57 points, and that is more than 1 race. So if he can get that number up a little bit, over 60 points, more than likely he will lock himself in to a playoff spot on points this evening at The Rock. Of course, Alex Bryson right there on the border, Peyton Johnson also when it's all said and done. So a lot of things to happen here tonight. Now, the other big news as we go into qualifying, the new build, which was released literally just a couple of hours ago. This was something that was supposed to be released yesterday. However, delayed 24 hours, which kind of had everybody a little nervous when this thing was all said and done. But the good news, everything seems to be cooperating so far. And what that has done has changed up the dynamic on track here a lot. Obviously, iRacing, been a lot of single groove racing for the most part, and you get some tracks that allow multi-groove racing just for the luck of it. Now that's gone. Dynamic Track 2.0, if you want to call it that, if you remember about 6 or 7 years ago when Dynamic Track 1 came out. This is the 2nd edition. So now, these cars are going to have to go find their groove. There could be a faster groove on the bottom. Could be a faster groove on the top. Could be in the middle. These cars are going to be searching and looking around for the way around this 1 mile oval. Not to mention, this is one of the notorious tracks that you've been able to go from the bottom to the top in real life. And I think you're going to see that here this evening when it's all said and done. As I mentioned, qualifying going on as you watch Tyler Pluff in the 13th position right now. Let's throw the standings up there. Diego Sainz, 24.79. He is the pole sitter right now. Sam Fontaine in P2. Still got a few cars out here left to qualify. Let's check out Tyler Brewer. Tyler in at number 40. As he crosses the line. And I got Tyler 16th right now on the grid. Alex Bryson slides into that open spot up there at the top. That is the 6th position here this evening in this race. That'll see 130 laps tonight. Of course, it presented by Mr. Radiator, the Throwback night. So you're going to see a lot of throwback paint schemes. I've seen some Christmas paint schemes already, and so much more. And we'll try to focus on those, let you see those here throughout this evening here of racing at the Rockingham Speedway. Again, race number 9 of 14 overall for GLSR, but of course 9 of 10 in the regular season. Win and you're in. So the question is, will we see a repeat winner tonight for a second time this season, or will we have an 8th or a 7th different winner this season? A lot to dissect when it's all said and done. As Brewer continues to go out here and run laps. Check out Devin Ramsey. Ramsey running the C4 paint. A lot of good flavors of that drink, by the way, for those who have never had it. Devin P17 right now. And by the way, while this was all going on, Sam Fontaine did jump to the pole at a 24.697. So congratulations, Sam. Looks like unless these last 3 cars can jump him in the grid, it looks like he'll be the pole sitter here tonight at the Rock. Fontaine, obviously one of the favorites when this thing is all said and done. So it looks like that's going to be it. So let's get Fontaine. We got how much time? We got about a minute or so. Let's bring Fontaine up here and have a word with him. Of course, the Bristol winner. And, of course, Sam joins us now in the booth. Sam, obviously you got a little bit here before we get started in the race. The Rock tonight, a lot of twists in this whole deal tonight because of this new build with the setup and all that good stuff. What has been your notice? Anything different immediately come to your mind? What have you felt out there here tonight that could play a role in this race?
Yeah, I think this grid is really great, actually. The whole thing about the temp track and everything, I think it's gonna change a lot of things. Like we saw literally like 15 degrees difference in between the practice, early, mid practice to the end of the practice, and right there, like we lost around 3-4 tenths of a second for our qual lap just because of the temp. So it's really interesting. I think we will see. The track is kind of greasy. More temp in it, gonna make it more greasy. So we'll see how it's gonna go. Nobody really know it yet, but it's gonna be interesting.
We see it in the tire fall off still playing a role?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like it's Rockingham. It's gonna be a tough one.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, best of luck tonight.
Yes, thanks, Max.
Absolutely. Sam Fontaine, the pole sitter here tonight for the race. Of course, part of the KJD2 clan down there. And let's take a look at the starting lineup here for the race. As mentioned, Fontaine, 24.697. He's on the pole. ABE rocking the Steve Park throwback. 2001 winner, by the way, there in that 38 car. You'll see that paint scheme going back to the Earnhardt, the race after Earnhardt was killed. Of course, Steve Park went to victory lane in that race. Diego Sainz and Stephen Miles, the second row. Brandon Alphin, Jason Dalton there in row number 3. Both those drivers pretty good on worn-out surface tracks. Lucas Gortman could be the guy to watch tonight. Of course, Kermit there with a chance to lock himself into the playoffs on points. We'll see if he can do that here alongside Lucas Strayer, who did some interesting artwork this week on the old Chase for the Cup, if I remember, or was it Total Team Control? One of those games. He was doing some like creative work on that, so interesting on his part. Brian Sutphin, Joey Ladisor there in row 5. The Dean Machine, I believe he's got himself a win here at the Rock in the Truck Series. He'll start next to Cam Ingram. Row 7, Dalton Carter, Peyton Johnson. Of course, Peyton, he's rocking a pretty cool Richard Petty throwback we'll check out there. Josh Gagnon and Cedric Ingram there in row number 8. Row 9, Devin Ramsey and Jacob Thornton. The Tylers in row 10, Pluff and Brewer. Row 11, Shane Matthews and Ethan Gregory making the start this week. And Jason Stewart, the 23rd and final starter in this race. Wrong button. So we look at the race info. 80 degrees tonight, 130 laps, as I mentioned, presented by Mr. Radiator. 38% humidity, partly cloudy skies. And you heard Fontaine mention this track's already playing some games with the temperature changes and stuff. So we're in for some interestingness, if I could use that word, here tonight. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at trackcams22.com. Pace car lights still on here, so I believe we're going to do one more lap. Getting out some of these paint schemes. Leave it to Fontaine to have a Darrell Waltrip Budweiser throwback here in that 77 car. Pretty cool car there. There's the Steve Park throwback from Alex Bryson. Looking pretty sporty there. And then, as I mentioned, the Christmas cars. Charlie Brown in the Womp 21 car, Brandon Alfin. And you got the Pac-Man eating dots up here in the 24 car. Usually a Ric Flair drip, but more of the chrome drip, if you will. I kind of like that. Lucas Gortman. There you see a couple of Earnhardt schemes right there. You see Dalton in the Neil Bonnet Mom and Pop scheme, the 62 Kevin Harvick scheme of Gortman. Cool looking throwbacks there. And back here, I think a lot of Sewer. There's a Bobby Allison throwback. And the old Buick. All right, 130 laps of racing coming up here. Glad you're able to join us on this Wednesday evening. It's race number 9 of GLSR's Downrange Transport Premier Series as we got tire spin and we got green flag. I told you they didn't know what was coming. Sam definitely stood on those shoes, huh? Everybody clean and green through 3 and 4. 2 different degrees of banking at this track, too. Very notorious for this. Over here in turn 1 and 2, it is 22 degrees of banking. Turn 3 and 4, 24 degrees of banking. So sort of a different layout of a track, if you will. Of course, D-shape, very tight off turn 2. Calamity corner, if you will be right there. Turn 3 and 4, bumpy, but sweeping. Lee Gortman in 9th position, trailing Brian Sutphin there. Fontaine pulling away just a little bit. Let's go up here. Diego Sainz looking for the lead. '44 looking pretty promising here so far in this Flame-mobile, if you will. You see Fontaine already climbing the banking. He's already tough enough to pass, and now you're going to put this dynamic track on here? Good luck. Oh, caution. Josh Gagnon has gone around. 79 car. Caution out. And he has blown that motor. He's busted a can of C4, unfortunately. Get a replay here of what transpired with the 79. Had Peyton Johnson there in front of him. Lotus Sordo was outside. Did he clip the apron? Well, he did everything he could to. Missed it, though, and just lost the back end. You see the new smoke physics? Matches his car, doesn't it? Caution out for the first time. Yeah, I noticed that. They just lost the back ender, carried too much speed off, and bam, in the inside wall. And caution out for the first time. So we'll see if we get any cars down pit road here. Probably not. But you never know, somebody in the back might try to strategize and go to the front, but from what I see, nobody coming to pit road this early in the race. So we're going to bring up the driver of the 44 who's running P2 right now. Of course, Diego won the green right now so far. What have you learned with this little bit of time on the track?
I've really just learned like how to save tires. I've been practicing like almost every day after work, but I've just learned how to save tires and I learned how to keep pace with Sam, which I'm very surprised at right now.
Any big difference from that week of practice to now?
The patch kind of messed everything up for me, but I think I'll be fine.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Diego Sainz, they're part of Gunslinger as they're getting ready to go green here off turn 4. I saw the pace car lights go off, so I was like, I better ask this question quickly. Green 4, Fontaine. See if he spins him this time. He almost had that car turn right on him there at the start, and this time a lot cleaner of a restart. Fontaine pulls away. Being very patient here on the throttle as you ride with Strayer down the back straightaway. I think I made the mention last Friday. Look at that. Best bow. One car sideways. Back where Dean is. Good save by Degadine. Or, well, he's Christopher Dean tonight. He's only had that one occurrence. I guess I can call him that just out of friendship and stuff. Good save, though, by the 48. Let's see what happened to the Texas native. Did he get hooked? Oh, he got in the back of Gortman. And it looked like maybe he had some contact or something. See if we can get a better view of this. Oh, Peyton Johnson, the law firm. Watch right here. They just had to check up, and Peyton gets into the back of 48. They do a great job of saving it. And we stay green. Already seeing the cars kind of move around. As Stewart there in front of Dean now. Could be an interesting battle. And Stewart's going to fall back here, so give Dean the position. So up to 18th now. Dean's got another test on his hands here now because obviously with the new build, you got the tires, how hot they are now, and that potential could be a problem here, trying to work his way back up through the field. As you see him chase down the 88. The old Shane Matthews band. Track temp 124 degrees, so yeah, it's a little slimy out there today. Let's go up here, Brandon Alphin. Womp, 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 mobile here, the 21 car, battling with the Peyton Johnson car. Alphin almost had to probably make a phone call to Peyton Johnson Saturday night. There's no NASCAR haulers here. What are you talking about? Cameron Ingram trying to get around that 21 car. Alphen had a good run going at the Brickyard last week. Unfortunately, fell up a little bit short. Up front, Diego putting pressure on Fontaine again here. As you see, he's doing one within about a second or so. Lucas Strayer up to third now, about 1.4 back. Strayer was using his NASCAR video games from back in 05 and 06 to practice at the Rock today, which I don't know if you could really do anything of comparison of that on here. Either way, clean and green. Let's check out Ramsey. He's got the inside on Cedric Ingram. And I don't know what to say about that photo. Oh, the contact. Ramsey car high. Great job saving. He was able to turn left off of him. Wonder if Ramsey saw that photo too and was like, yikes. Let me go back to that. That was interessante. Here we go, one more look here. Scary Cam. Gonna get you a better view of that. I thought we had a good view, but apparently I didn't. Here we go. Nah, he should have been standing there. Either way, good save on both parts. Could have been a lot worse. Oh, there, into the wall goes Ramsey again. I'll have to regroup a little bit there as SpongeBob SquareShane has to catch him there, and no battle for position. Up front, these two still trying to battle it out here. Fontaine's led all the laps here so far. Let's go Back here to a pretty good fight between Peyton Johnson, who was a little worried about getting in a race on time today. He was stuck at work. Brian Sutphin, Brandon Alphin, and right behind them, Cam Ingram. Sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth positions here. You can see why this was. And I have to go back to the console mention there with Lucas Strayer. This is one of my favorite tracks to race on any console game. Loved it. Still love it today on iRacing. And still wish NASCAR raced here back in the day, but unfortunately ticket prices and attendance issues. There's been talks about potentially going back, but they did just repave the track last year too, so I mean, you never know. One of my biggest video game flashbacks when I think about The Rock. Of course, you remember back in the till about late 2000s is when they finally added Daytona to the console games. So anytime you played a game before that, the first race of the season was always at The Rock. And of course, I think of NASCAR 2000. And if those who remember that game, the pit stops were probably the most creative and I think coolest thing that was ever done on those games. And for those who don't remember that game, in particular, when you went down pit road, you had to pay attention the whole entire time. You couldn't like walk away and let the pit stop happen, go to the grab a drink real quick and get back in 18 to 20 seconds at that time. You actually had to hit buttons and you had to time the button out with what was showing up on your screen in order for the pit stop to be quick, or else it would be super slow. So that was one of the coolest things. Oh geez, only Casey Carrington would have played the Raw versus SmackDown or whatever those games were back in the day. Did you put people through the table all the time too? Heard you throw somebody off Hell in a Cell. It's Cam Ingram inside of Peyton Johnson. One thing I'm seeing, it's tough to pass on the bottom. Sun's out. Track temp has gone down a little bit, but it just seems like the higher up you go, the better you're getting these runs off the corner, which is traditional here at The Rock. You got to be able to have a car roll the bottom. I remember No Mercy, and of course you had WCW versus the World back in the heyday. You had what was it? Was it Sold Out? Was the game that was like No Mercy? Was that WCW's version? Hey, Lucas Strayer's moved up to second, by the way, in his 41 car, so maybe the console practice has helped. Let's show you that pass. Happened about a lap or so ago. Sold Out, okay, yeah. So Lucas outside, running that Jeff Burton throwback. The old singular days. Oh, Diego about got him. Me and my buddy, we used to, when Raw first came out, of course, that was the day where you had to go buy the book from GameStop because, like, it showed you, it'd show you the codes in the menu of how to do what wrestling moves, but you did not have the finishing moves on the list. So you had to go figure out, like, if you were Stone Cold, you had to like totally guess how to do the stunner until you were able to go get the book or whatever from GameStop. So I remember me and a buddy, we used to sit there. We would go 2-player mode. I would literally put the controller aside, and we would sit there and use every single combination of buttons to figure it out. And finally, it took like 3 hours to finally do the stunner on somebody. And of course, when we did that, we wrote it down. Those were the days. All right, so Fontaine leads right now. He has about 1.1 seconds. Lucas Strayer second and loose. The Sainz is going to go run on him here. Strayer, a little defensive move on the bottom. AB there starting to make a run in that Steve Park throwback as Sainz crosses over to the bottom here. Is it bad we got all those buttons that we used to remember, but yet the one I can always remember is back B in Mortal Kombat with Scorpion? Throws the rope at him. Get over here. Yeah, Bryson and Stephen Miles back here in his 24 car. Those two looking pretty sporty as Stewart gets up there in front of Miles. Kind of had a bad entry into 3. So these guys starting to catch up with the leaders here. As you notice, track temps starting to really fall quickly. But then this fierce battle starting to shape up here. Peyton Johnson, Cam Ingram. There's the Bobby Allison throwback, a lot of sore. Tyler Pluff, and then there is Christopher Dean, who has gotten his tires back under him. As I mentioned earlier, Dean, a previous truck winner here at The Rock. Really good on worn-out surfaces. They have a lot of sore and get the run here on Johnson. Not able to. This is a hornet's nest. Ooh, Pluff getting a little bit of a defensive move there behind Peyton, but I think they're both just trying to run the top side, so I can't really say he blocked them. Close to it, though. A lot of sore trying to get away. Cam, unfortunately, stuck down there on the bottom as Dean tries to get around now. Go up here, Stephen Miles starting to make moves outside of Diego Sainz. You see Bryson's made the move for a second. Too much passing going on. He can't catch it all. I just need a little help with something here. What does Pac-Man have to do with cookies? I mean, obviously that's what, a cookie monster, I'm guessing what that is. But then I see Pac-Man. I need help. So obviously the teammates here working their way up through the top 5 now as Bryson tries to drive away up to second. Here comes. Is that, I wonder if it is Pac-Man Jones. Good call. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, he's got all the money there. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. Of course, we all know where Pac-Man got his money at. Adult places. So here's where you definitely see the tire wear coming into play. And he did wear 24 too, Pac-Man did. And you think about that. All right, so this battle has settled down a little bit. This one, on the other hand, has not. Who's got a Mike Harmon throwback? We're going to Applebee's tonight? Are you talking about the Diego? You know what? That might be a good call. Diego Sainz going to Applebee's tonight, apparently. Tyler Brewer on pit road. And I've been waiting on somebody to run a paint scheme like this. The Bucky's car. Cedric Ingram back there to 19. I do want to send a shout out, by the way, to everybody watching tonight. Appreciate you guys. As always, appreciate those who filled out the little survey I sent out today to people. Had some interesting answers. I won't read from who or whatever, but I had some interesting answers of some things that would better or what they would like to not see as much on broadcast. One person was dumb enough to say they want me on the broadcast. I'm like, what? Oh, the third half. Brandon Alfin now making passes as he rolls his way up here through the field. Laser Racing starting to make its appearance. Second, third, and fifth. As Lucas Strayer goes digging for a hot pocket at the bottom. I don't think they taught him that move in Total Team Control. So Fontaine's led all the laps here so far, 55 complete. Still got at least one pit stop in this race. Tires have fallen off about 2 seconds. Yeah, more about a second and 2/3. As often coming up on signs. As Peyton Johnson comes to pit road here, so this might be the first of the lead lap cars on pit road. Dalton Carter coming with him. $15.4 for Peyton Johnson as he pulls away. Of course, back in the day, this used to be a double pit stalls. Not pit stalls, but pit road. As right there, you see the old back straightaway pits. Then back about 99 or so, they turned it on the one pit road. Peyton Johnson's going to feel like Superman here for a minute. As here is the 9 on pit road to Devin Ramsey. When I look at his photo, my first thought that comes to my mind is the old Spider Pig from Homer Simpson. I am not going to sing it, but I'll let you guys do that part. Ethan Gregory, Jacob Thornton on pit road. So we'll see what kind of strategy this pulls into. These guys who are, you could say, kind of short pitting here, because I would think you want to try to get to halfway, which is 65, which, by the way, bonus point on the line for those who lead at that 65th lap. Peyton Johnson's ran the fastest lap of the race at 24.82. That is almost 2 seconds faster than the field right now. Track temp down to 113, so you're going to see the speeds come up a wee bit. And Brian Sutphin going to bring the 26 to pit road. More tires and fuel for the 26. Right about the halfway point. This is about where I would expect everybody to come to pit road now. As Kermit Gortman on pit road now, looking to lock himself into the playoffs on points if he can't go to victory lane tonight. Mr. Consistency here in the 62 car. More tires and fuel, and he pulls away. I mean, Peyton's laying laps down here. 24.78 last time by. Oh, caution is out as Jason Dalton was trying to get to pit road. And right here on the front straightaway is a red car. It is an orange car, and it's Lucas Strayer. Strayer right in the middle of pit stops. And that left side, remember, new damage model on this car. Right side, a little bit of damage. Left side's pretty twisted. I can or cannot confirm that Lucas Strayer said something in chat before the wreck. But caution is out either way. Let's. Oh, whoa, whoa. What in the world? Mr. Radiator might have gave him the horn. We'll have to come back and see what that's about. Pit stops. I think that's supposed to say this raids for you. Unfortunately, though, with RADS, it spells rads. And, A for effort. I mean, this coolant's for you, maybe? Race off pit road. Fontaine with ease. Miles going to come out second. Bryson Alphin. Yeah, that's what I was actually going to do that case. You beat me to it. Good call. Now that we've had some laps on it. I know Fontaine kind of mentioned something before the race, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him a lot about it. Let's go back to the replay, though, first. I want to know what in the world this was about. Looks like this might have started a little earlier. Lodosaur trying to get topside there. Had the run and... Well, something odd there. I'm just going to put it like that. I don't know how else to word that one. That was interesting. Of course, Jason Dalton was trying to get to pit road at that moment. Kids, hide your eyes. I was trying to get to that moment there. Sorry about that. Let's try it again. I mean... Firewall deep. I don't know what to say about that one. Let's talk to our points leader, as I think we're going to be coming to one lap to green here. Let me see if I can get this one right. Pac-Man Jones, you got a copy?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
I think we got it right. So I'm good, man. What's just basically I'm asking about the track here. One driver asked me in chat here about it, and I was kind of wondering now, 70 laps in, you've had a little bit of practice. What is the biggest difference you have felt with the new track, with the feel and stuff?
It's still bumpy. It's still the same Rockingham. It's just I feel like it's a little bit more smoother. They delayed the green, so I don't know what's going on. But
Yeah, let's just talk
right
more.
now, right now we trying to figure out how to get past this fast 77. You know, we was running the same lap time as them, but just couldn't get them because it's clean air. So I'm trying to decide if I want to save or do I want to take the clean air from them or what. But right now we got a good little team race right now. With all three of us right here in the top 4 or 5 right now. So I might just let Alpha go battle this out.
Well, yeah, you got UAB and Linus back there behind you. Obviously battling second, third, and fourth, trying to team up there on Fontaine. But this is the furthest up you guys have been. So do you think that this might help you clean air wise?
We'll see. I know we saved a lot compared to those guys the last run and was able to get past them, but felt like we saved a little bit too much for Fontaine. So we might have to see who can make them burn this stuff up, and whoever saved behind us will be able to get past us. Speaking about my teammates, huh?
Yeah, right. Real quick, before you go green, have you noticed any of the difference in the line moving around?
Yeah, the line is moving around more than the previous history. So we'll see, man. Just trying not to self-spin again. You feel me?
Don't do the way. It's not Iowa. You're good. All right, buddy. Be safe.
You too.
Stephen Miles there running in P2 with Laser Racing. Got him 2-3-4 there behind Sam Fontaine. He set his goal to try to find a way around that 77. But as I mentioned, they've got the cleanest air they've seen so far this race. So let's see. As Fontaine gets him back to green, a little bit of wheel spin from Miles. I guess that's something else I'm kind of curious about as I think about it now, is with the low tire pressure, is the car as dangerous as it used to be. Miles kind of easing it off turn 2 there as Alfin's going to go by. Here comes Dean. Good comeback drive for that guy. So Jason Dalton was able to pit and stayed on the lead lap. Brian Sutphin, however, is at least a lap down, maybe 2 laps down with that caution. Cam lighting up the wall a little bit there off turn 4. Now you see Sutphin right there, 10th or inside for 10th, and you see Brian in the 14th spot, and he is 1 lap down right now. The lucky dog and loose. Nice save. Boy, he had that thing smoking off turn 2. Look out, as Casey was saying. Check out this bad boy. The 26 back here. Making moves, flying up here through the field. There's Cam getting the wall, gets to the inside here. Man, he almost had that thing in full lock. That's a great save. Jason Dalton is coming to pit road, so I'm not sure if that's a black flag maybe he had. You see Dean getting free up there, almost tagging the wall with his rear. Ethan Gregory has gone around and jumped to the pits. No caution. We stay green. Let's see what happened to the 25 car. Oh no. Hospital hop into the wall. Good job of keeping it up there. So Diego Sainz has gotten back to second, so obviously showing he's got a short run car in at 44. You see Bryson up there. You see Brandon Alphin there in the 4th position. Stephen Miles. You can see the top 7 right here on the screen. Miles in his, I mean, can we just straight up say drinking buddy? In the 48 car there behind him? It's interesting. I guess I have to get on track and see this for myself. But Miles said when we talked to him that the track is still bumpy, but it felt smoother. Oh, Brian Sutphin with issues. He's jumped to pit road. As he came to pit road there, not sure what happened there with the 26 behind the wall. I'm not sure exactly how that works. Maybe it's not so much, maybe the car just doesn't move around as much over the bumps. Fontaine's just got a highline rolling. They used to say when you run the rock back in the heyday that the car would drive itself. You were just a passenger along for the ride. You went wherever the car took you. As we watch father and son, Cam and Cedric Ingram battle with Peyton Johnson back here, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Jason Dalton has taken his car to pit road again. So a lot of issues for the KJD2 cars here the last few minutes. Got 12 cars in the lead lap, 88 laps complete, 2 cautions so far. Of course, next week, we go to Michigan, a traditional track that hosts the finale of the regular season. And we'll be with you at 8:30 or 8:45 Eastern Time. It's the only now league broadcast that we have on the Captain Esports Network between now and January. There could be some fill-in roles here and there. There might be one potentially next Saturday, but I don't want to confirm until it happens. I mean, Fontaine's out here driving this thing like he's Darrell Waltrip in a Darrell Waltrip car. Of course, DW had a lot of wins at this track. So did Richard Petty. Mark Martin had a lot of Busch Series wins back in the heyday as Sainz. This might be the closest he's been. Of course, now you got Bryson starting to approach with the longer run. You can just see where one of the drivers gets a run off the corner, another one will get one going in, and just the momentum in that kind of thing, and how it's just so even right now between these three. I got 3 different lines right here in the turn 1 and 2. That's what made this track so awesome. I'm having flashbacks to 04 with Kenseth Kane and McMurray. Fontaine got a little high there. See if he can bring it off the corner. Sainz getting loose off 2. I mean, Fontaine is tagging him here in the wall. I don't know what I just said, but he's almost in the wall. Behind him, you see Stephen Miles. Or I'm sorry, it's Brandon Alfin starting to come into play. And this is the best battle on the track, by the way. It's why I really haven't cut away. We do got a little bit of a battle for 7th and 8th, but not like this. Let's go back and check it out real quick while we got a minute. 6th place, Christopher Dean, who just smacked the wall off 4. Tyler Pluff. Joey Ladouceur. And you can see the lead battle up ahead there. It's a cool part about this. I guess you can call it a short track, 1 mile track. You can see almost anywhere around it and see the battles. Especially up ahead there. There's those 4. And then Miles there in 5th. Dean right here. And then, of course, Tyler. Here comes Jason Dalton with 4 field goods. Shane Matthews on pit road. In the 18th position there. I mean, Diego is about to get swallowed up by these laser guys. course, these three trying to get to Fontaine. Fontaine winning that race at Bristol. And then second, third, and fourth right here, all looking for that first win of the season. I'm sorry, Brandon Dolphin does have a win already. Let me correct myself there. So it'd be 2 of the 4 trying to get their first win and become the 8th or 7th driver, if I can get my numbers right, to get into the playoffs. And if Fontaine can win and become the second repeat winner of the season, this will open up the door for another wild card driver to get in without a win. You see Alphin is cleared. Bryson for third. And Brian Sudfinson, there's another wild card spot. So there we go. So, sorry to hear that, Brian. A good battle here. Second, third, and fourth. Fontaine just ripping the fence, trying to hold on. And he's been able to maintain distance there. See, Pluff and Ladasur pulled away from each other. So, yeah, it's all right here in the front right now. And this is reminding me of the old Rock. These cars are skating everywhere. .22 laps to go. Of course, Miles 2.2 seconds back in fifth, and then Dean is a pretty good margin back here. He is about 4 seconds back from Miles. I'm sorry, 1.7 back from Miles, 5.4 from Fontaine. Of course, Pluff, Ladasur, and then the Ingrams, 9th and 10th. As we watch Dalton coming through with the tires. The old Neil Bonnet, mom and pop's throwback. Of course, Neil brought in to be the teammate during the early 90s there for Earnhardt. Had some scary accidents. You go back to 93 where he blew the tire at Talladega. Went flying up to the fence. Then, of course, lost his life in the 1994 accident that some say was one of the scarier scenes in Daytona that year. Was some of the crashes that were going on. Of course, the tire war was just coming into play at that point with Hoosier and Goodyear. And there were all types of issues. Matter of fact, I think 2 drivers lost their lives in accidents that year there. Diego trying to hold off. Bryson for second. Strayer gets out of the way. AB with a good run into 3 and 4. Can he finish it off now off the top? Oh, he got the wall. As they come up on the 11 of Thornton. Thornton did a good job staying out of the way there, letting them go by. 17 to go. 1 second flat lead over Signs for Fontaine. Led all the laps here tonight as Dalton Carter comes to pit road. 11 cars on the lead lap here. You guys fighting it out, just allowing Fontaine to pull away. Bryson got tight again off 2. You get hardly any kind of break in the corners at all. I mean, you're fighting through this banking. G-force is pulling you through the corners, and all of a sudden you're right back on the straightaway. Oh, and the wall goes Dalton, and you're right back down the straightaway. And oh, by the way, it's curvy on the front. Oh, Sainz had to get out of it. Got the wall almost a little bit there. Bryson might have the run here. Let's see. Fresh tires coming around. Dalton Carter topside here. You feel like Superman with new shoes. Pluff trying to get up here to Dean. A lot of sore there behind him. Though I don't think anything will happen, I'm going to keep an eye on right here. Everybody stays clean. Well, except Ladasaur puts himself on the wall. Slide jobs himself. Nine to go. Fontaine is pulled away. 1.7 seconds now. This should lock Lucas Cortman into the playoffs on points. Because now we'll have 4 spots on points. And of course, he's trying to get the regular season championship also. Joey is dirt tracking at the Rock. I never thought I'd say that. I mean, he literally went into turn 1, had her, like, the e-brake was pulled. Five laps to go. I'm just looking up Daryl Ultra stuff right now, and all I'm reading is wins at the Rock, wins at the Rock, wins at the Rock. Won a lot of races here. Don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but a ton. Go back here for third. Bryson, one more attempt here at Signs for second. Oh, good run off 4 here. Gets to his outside here as we watch Fontaine. He'll take the white flag, final lap. Meanwhile, the battle for second is on. Bryson just gets too tight off 2. Say that 3 times fast. Sam Fontaine going to go wire to wire, lead every lap here at the Rock. Mr. Radiator goes to victory lane. And the Mr. Radiator 130 as Fontaine becomes the second repeat winner as Bryson ends up outrunning Diego for second by 1/100th. Let's show you that real quick. Bryson got the run off 4. Oh, wow, that was close. Good and clean, too. Diego got a little free off, and that was the difference right there. As Fontaine parks it there on the front straightaway. I think. All right. So we look at the results here from Rockingham. Fontaine's second win of the season as he leads every lap, outrunning Bryson, who edges Signs at the line by 9/1000ths of a second. So very impressive there. Brandon Alford ends up 4th. Stephen Miles 5th. Tyler Pluff ends up 6th. Good run for him. Christopher Dean in 7th. Joey Ladisor 8th. Cam Ingram 9th. Cedric Ingram 10th. Peyton Johnson ends up 11th. Lucas Strayer 12th. Lucas Cortman 13th. Devin Ramsey and Jacob Thornton rounding out the top 15. Tyler Brewer 16th. Dalton Carter 17th. Jason Dalton finishes in the 18th position. 19th, Shane Matthews, Brian Sutphin 20th, Ethan Gregory, Jason Stewart, Josh Gagnon, the 23 racers tonight here at the Rock. 2 cautions in the end and 1 leader. And that was that 77 car as he goes to victory lane here. Some good racing out there. And that was tricky watching Fontaine come to the line and then seeing those 2 battle for second. Tough to put cameras on everybody, as they say. But top 3 up there chatting it out, or 2 of the 3, I should say, chatting it out in the waiting room. And let's bring our 3rd place finisher up here as I cut him off. Sorry, Diego. Didn't mean to interrupt your 2's fun conversation, but I know you're probably tired after that, man. Going the last 60 laps or so, 50, 60 laps there of green, and having Bryson all over your tail, and then just having that car just slowly starting to fall away from you in battle to the finish.
Yeah, it didn't feel too good. I was just talking to him about it. we both had decent pace, decent tire saving, but ultimately, like, he of course got the upper hand by running the high line. I was like, I should probably block, but I don't want to force the situation.
Obviously, still a great run, a run that you needed. Obviously, with the issues last week, you fell to 12th in points, put yourself around in the bubble. To come back here and get yourself a top 3 finish tonight, did a good job of giving yourself a little bit more of a cushion.
Yeah, I think the cushion definitely gonna rise after getting this third place finish, and I was hoping this would have been my redemption race, but Fontaine is really fast at these tracks for some reason. So I was hoping this would be my redemption for, of course, the events that happened last week, but it wasn't. But I'm still happy with top 3.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
I want to shout out the Gunslingers team, of course, Cedric, Cameron, everybody. Love them dearly. I want to shout out the admins for running this race. I want to shout out you, Chris, and shout out Matt Telder. Hope retirement's treating you well, man.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations, and we will see you next week in Michigan.
I'm excited for that, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, you too. Diego Sainz finishing in the 3rd position there. Of course, he had to battle out with the guy now next to me, and that's, of course, Alex Bryson, a.k.a. Steve Park, or whatever you want to call him, in the 38 car. Great run for him, man. I know that was a tough battle amongst a lot of you. You and Alfin was up there, of course, Miles for a short period, and then, of course, Diego was there with you guys. It just seemed like you and your teammates had that long run speed. Diego had that short run speed, and finally you just able to edge your way and make that run on the top side. I know that was not easy to do, and I'm sure you're pretty tired probably.
I actually am pretty tired. I don't know how many laps I tried to run that top side, but I didn't run it the whole entire race until then, and I just felt like I could get some speed off there off the corner, and I felt like that's where I was lacking, especially attitude, because it's just so hard to get attitude, in my opinion. I just feel like the walls kind of close in on you a little bit. And grip. I mean, grip at this place is just, it's almost non-existent. I mean, you can find it in 3 and 4. There's a spot in 3 and 4 towards exit that I call the honey hole, that I feel like the car just kind of gets into a dip there and it just wants to take off. But yeah, I mean, it was great battling everybody. I mean, especially Diego. Alfin had a great second run there. Miles was up there with us too. So, I mean, it was a fun little 5-way party up there, so to speak. But yeah, just, I'm not gonna lie, like you said, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I noticed one issue you seemed like you had all night is you were getting very tight off turn 2. Was that something you were fighting, or was it more you pushing the car too hard? What was causing that?
I just think, for me as a driver at this racetrack, I've always struggled with it, whether it's been Gen 4 truck, Xfinity car. I've never been able to master coming out of 2. It doesn't matter what lane. It could be bottom, middle, top. Bottom, coming out and hitting the wall. The middle, I feel like you're just getting closer to the wall. And of course, the top side, the wall's there just waiting to eat you alive. But yeah, just always struggle with 2. But I mean, it was like that all night. It was like that in practices, AI races that I did leading up to this. I mean, it's just, I guess, I don't want to say it's out of my control, because I'm sure there's things I can do in the car, like I was, backing up my corners into 1, trying to get a run, but turn 1 and 2 is just shaped so differently. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I could have, diamond it, so to speak. Like I could be able to diamond it in a Gen 4 car, but with this car, I didn't feel really comfortable with it. But yeah, that's just something I've always struggled with.
Well, obviously, it was a great effort on your end, and I do want to ask, obviously, I've asked a few others about the track change, of course, with the dynamic stuff coming into play today. How much difference did you feel in the track? Was it something you had to move around to feel, or what did you take from it?
I mean, I definitely moved around there towards the end just to kind of see what kind of speed I could get, or just find something, grip in general. I mean, definitely after the update, when I come home from work and, did the update, I ran a couple laps just to see, and I definitely felt different compared to what it was, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday leading up to this. But I think what they've done with the oval refresh, if this is the kind of racing we're going to get, I mean, obviously you saw me and Diego there, I mean, just scrapping it out there towards the end. I think it's a really good step forward for iRacing. I think it's also a good step forward for this league as well. But I definitely enjoy it. I definitely like the update. And like I said, it's going to create really good racing. So I'm very happy with it. But yeah, towards the end there, yeah, I definitely could tell. I mean, like I said at the beginning of this interview, I definitely tried to ride the bottom as much as I could because that's what I had trained my mind to up until this point. And sometimes you got to move around and find a couple things. And I think old Fatback McSwain kind of helped us all out there towards the end. So.
All right, man. Well, great job tonight. Send some shout outs.
Well, I got to thank Dale Earnhardt. He taught me how to drive this racetrack. Just don't use the brakes. Got to thank the man above. Got to thank my wife and kids, especially my wife, to let us take time out of our busy lives to do this kind of stuff. It's a getaway for me. It's a home away from home, I guess, is what I'll call it. It's just something I get to do and enjoy. I have great teammates, Brandon Alphin, Stephen Miles. I got to thank Gradient Concepts. I got to thank Ben Pierce for putting this paint on. Was just thinking the other day, last week, I was like, what paint scheme would be great for a throwback weekend? I was thinking, well, I don't drive the number one car. I said, but that Steve Park car would look really cool here with this 2001 paint scheme, and I almost try to replicate that. But I mean, Sam had a great car all night. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm wrong, I haven't looked at it yet. I'm pretty sure he led every lap, I feel like. Who else I got to thank? Got to thank my dad. I got to thank my wife's grandmother. Gotta thank you for putting on these amazing broadcasts. Shout out Laser Racing, and yeah, I'm done. Tired.
And nothing wrong with that. Of course, a couple 38s that come to my mind. Elliott Sadler's M&M's car. Of course, David Yolen at the same time.
Yeah, I thought about the M&M's car.
You had Casey Kane's Great Clips car back in the day in the Busch Series, and then of course
yeah, you're right.
The one that everybody will forget about, the old Glenn Allen Jr. car. The old I think it was Barbasol was on the car.
Yeah, you've gone past my I'm a 91 baby, so anything before that, I'm lost.
That was after.
Oh, well, there you go. That's just embarrassing.
And you just reminded me, wasn't Elton Sawyer number 38 at one point too? Anyways, I'll check that out.
Sorry, stop.
Just say it. All right.
Just
man.
saying.
Yeah, well, great job tonight, bud.
All right, thanks, man.
You too. I was back when Elton and Patty Moise drove at the same time, and now they're married. That had to be awkward. Anyways, all right. Let's get our winner. Sam Fontaine. Actually, you know what? Okay, yeah, Gortman's gone. I was going to bring him up real quick. Yeah, let's get our winner up here. Everybody's bailed out. And I'm able to get Gortman over here. Let's see. Let's talk to a winner tonight here. Sam Fontaine, who goes to Victory Lane, becomes the second repeat winner on the season. Of course, Sam, I would say that was a pretty good butt whooping.
Yeah. Well, that was a good race. Really fun. I think a lot of guys were scared of pushing the envelope early, and just the track position was really a good advantage in that case.
Well, talk about the racing, because obviously you had a lot of tough battles, and the one thing I noticed out of your end, you had to get up there and rip the fence an awful lot to keep that lead.
Yeah, I mean, Monday when we practiced before having the update and having any idea of what was looking like, what it was about to look like, I was like playing literally everywhere. Rockingham is like such a interesting place, super bumpy and super rough on tires. So by experience, when we raced here in the past, you can get pretty creative on the way you use the track at your own advantage. You can use a banking, you can use to slow yourself down, which I was doing for my quad lap in turn 3. Like there was a lot of thing going on. Some guys were ripping the bottom to do a really fast lap at the bottom for qual. Some guys were running middle to bottom, some were running the wall, and so you could do pretty much everything, and it was even. The important part was how comfortable you were doing it, and if you could keep doing it for a long time. And this race, well, we got pretty much one caution, two cautions, so like two really big long runs. I mean, it was just all about like the feeling. I love running the walls like pretty much everywhere I can, so that's where I centered and trying to save tires. I tried to play my game a little bit early, trying to go lower for the first third of the race, but at some point, like I opened up the top line, just trying to be smooth with the front wheels and just trying to get the best car for the end of the race.
seemed like turn 1 and 2 you were kind of having a tricky time with. It looked like you were maybe sending it in deep into 1, letting the car almost go up to the fence, and then almost driving back off with like a diamond type of look.
Yeah, I had to do some things like in the top corner of the one. Sorry, in the
You're okay.
top line in turn 1. The thing is, there's a huge bump up there, and the car bottoms down really bad. So if you're like a car width from the wall, you're probably gonna bounce into the wall by running up there. So you had to run like 2 feet lower than this part of the track for the entry, and after that you just kind of let it roll. When you get close to the wall, you get back on throttle to rotate. And I was trying to play with that, but at some point during the race, when I saw Diego in the second half, like putting pressure, and after that, like Alex was there and like Alfin was there, I had to kind of run a little bit more middle entry just to be sure that I wasn't giving too much time on entry and giving them too good of an opportunity. And after that, I just tried to keep my tire cold enough for the 20 last lap, and I tried to open up the machine, which is worked pretty well, and the rest is history, I guess.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Send some shout outs over you like to.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who did race tonight. Fairly clean for at the exception of a couple guys, I guess. Every guy in the team, KGT2, doing a great job again. Having some fun with those guys, practicing a lot, and just a lot of laugh. And like always, you for a great broadcast that you're doing every week. And we are pretty pleased that you're feeling a little better than last week.
A little bit.
And yeah, a little bit. And lastly, Joey for sponsoring the race tonight. Really a good guy, and yeah, helping out the lead. It's really fun, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Second win of the season. And Michigan next week, bud. Good job.
Yes, thanks.
Absolutely. Sam Fontaine, the winner here tonight here at The Rock. Congratulations to him. And I was able to go get Mr. Kermit and have him join me here because I wanted to break the good news to him. It looks like that you are now locked into the playoffs, my man.
Woohoo! Hey, that's some good news after tonight's race.
Well, I say that because obviously at a pretty good points margin, and obviously now with Sam winning, it adds another wild card spot to those who have not won a race. You're 4 spots up, basically being the points leader. So, welcome in.
Yeah, so it was it's a good feeling, rookie coming in and should be in the playoffs, so that kind of put focus on that. Still going to go out to Michigan and do what I can. Tonight was tough, kind of got just an unfortunate timing there with the caution and pit stops and trapped us a lap down. But hey, take some good out of this race.
Right, and there you go. That's the promise there to you, man. Well, I know you got some things you got to get to, so I just wanted to pull you in here and to say congratulations. You're the 8th guy in, it looks like. And, yeah, congratulations on that. Send some shout-outs if you want to. Otherwise, we'll see you in Michigan.
Yeah, man, I'll throw out a few shout-outs, since I haven't got to talk to you in a while,
Right.
Thanks to you for broadcasting, all the admins, everybody. I'd like to thank all my teammates. None of them were here, unfortunately. Alex, Brandon, Helder, all those guys, and everybody. I'm just kind of baffled after tonight. Just the new update and everything.
Right.
Track I'm terrible at. So, gonna put focus on Michigan, but main focus on the last 4 races.
Tonight he was the lap 1 legend. So, great job, man.
Thank you, man. Take it easy.
You too, buddy. Lucas Gortman, the points leader, at least as of the last race. And let me see if we get the new points updated. If so, I will get those up here on the screen really quickly. If not, I'll show you what we were at going into the race so that you can see, the math of where the 62 gets into the playoffs now automatically because, well, he had such a big enough point lead on the field that it allowed him to just pretty much waltz his way on in, if you will. Give me a second here. There are a lot of channels over here in this Discord page. So I'm still trying to figure it out here. That's not it. That might be it. There we go. Rockingham is officially loaded, so give me a second here, and I'll get you your point standings. Fontaine did lead all 130 laps here tonight. As a matter of fact, yeah, Fontaine jumps now to the top of the board when it comes to the points standings. So we pull out the old snipping tool on the computer. Miles would be second, Brandon Alphin third. And again, these are all people with wins. That's why you haven't heard me say Gortman's name yet, is because he's actually in on points, not on the win. Now, if he goes to victory lane next week, that will change things with the way everything is all set up. Now, here we go. Here's your point standings now up to date. As Fontaine jumps to the top of the board, as he's got a pretty good margin there on Miles. They look at it now, 313, 287. That's 26 points over Miles right now. Brandon Alphin third, but as you see, the two winners up top there, the two multi-time winners, Alphin, Cedric, Ladisur, Maciejewski, and Sutphin. Of course, Sutphin has said that his spot is up pretty much to a wild card spot, so basically it's 6 winners. Lucas Gortman, if you want to move him up to 7th, now being the points leader then. As you see, he's got 289 points. He's not the overall leader. Fontaine's got that now at 313. But Gortman's the highest out of those not in the playoffs with a win. So Gortman should be in. And looking down at the 13th position now, 40 points up. Bryson is pretty safe, it looks like. I'm sure I could have brought that up in the interview, but I didn't. But AB likely going to be another playoff driver. Peyton Johnson, Diego Sainz looking much better. Tyler Pluff now the bubble guy. And as you see now with Peachin down here at 203, it's pretty much going to come down unless somebody wins, which could shuffle this board a little bit. Right now you got 11 points separating 12th, 13th, and 14th. But, of course, if, say, hypothetically Sean Peachin or somebody outside this screen wins, then you're looking at Diego Sainz being the border person. So, obviously, this battle with Peyton Johnson becomes very interesting in the end next week in Michigan. So, a lot of things to talk about as we get there next week, 8:45 Eastern Time. Hopefully you can join us. There might or might not be some more streams this week. And having some fun as we work to... I put out a post today for those who didn't see it on Facebook and Twitter. A little motivated now to... We're going to make this stuff even better on the stream now, even better out in social media and stuff. We're going to pick it up here on this channel and get things going. Got a lot of new things coming in 2024 and looking forward to having the best year yet that we've had here on the network, even though it's been pretty fun. So looking forward to it. So I appreciate all the viewers, appreciate all the drivers, appreciate everyone. As always, it's always a pleasure and an honor to be able to come out here and have some fun here after a long day of work, especially in the month of December. So we're out. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.